So, so what Mark and Teresa and then Patrizia from afar have graciously provided us is kind of a three-course meal here. You know, delicious and nutritious, plenty of stuff to be talking about tonight and tomorrow. The last little bit of the evening here for the presentations here is just a bit of dessert, kind of a lighter touch. And the history of these kind of humorous home movies is simply that I got tired a few years ago of just making dry speeches about deliberation and democracy, and I thought I might try something different to try to communicate some of the same ideas in a format that was a little bit more fun. So that's where these things started. Two things to say about this one, which is actually the fourth. One is my previously low standards of camera work have even declined. They're even worse in this version than they have been in the past. But on the plus side, we have a special guest star this year. Carol Sultan was very anxious that we have, important political theorists contributing to our conversation, understandably, and he's positively giddy. He doesn't look like it, but he does. He's giddy because I was able to persuade perhaps the most famous political theorist of all time to guest star in this movie, and I think you'll find he's looking quite youthful for someone who's over 2,000 years old.
All over the world, we are facing critical questions on important public issues, and not just the ones that get the headlines. There are significant, obvious challenges like terrorism and war, climate change, and financial inequity and instability. But our ability to meet these challenges has more to do with some other decisions we face, about whether and how people take part in democratic self-governance. When people have meaningful roles in democracy, their communities and their countries are smarter, safer, healthier, more equitable, and more productive. These questions about democracy, what it means and how to make it work, have been around since the dawn of civilization.
Liberty and equality will best be attained when all people share to the government and to the utmost.
But there are some interesting new twists to these old questions. First, the wave of democratic innovation in the global south means that the older, northern democracies may be falling behind their younger, southern counterparts when it comes to innovation and self-governance.
I'm off to learn how democracy works.
Are you interning at Capitol Hill?
No, I'm moving to Brazil.
Second, new online tools are giving citizens much greater capacity to understand public issues and influence public decisions.
What are you doing? Ordering pizza?
No, I'm vetoing the city budget.
Oh.
In this era of democratic experimentation, a number of successful innovations have emerged, including
dialogue and deliberation,
participatory budgeting,
Placemaking.
neighborhood online forums,
events that are political, social, and fun for kids,
Neighborhood mini grants.
online arenas for problem solving,
co-production of public services,
mapping community assets and challenges.
As we see more and more examples of how democracy can work, it becomes more and more apparent that some of the official procedures for democracy are ineffective and out of date. For example, the standard format for public meetings, in which citizens get 3 minutes at an open microphone to address their elected officials, is still the most commonly practiced form of public participation and the least effective.
The chair recognizes the gentleman in the toga who has come to speak to us on politics, poetics, and the importance of the polis as the highest form of community. Sir, you have 3 minutes.
And when it comes to state and federal policy making, most citizens don't seem to have any say at all.
Donate to our political party.
Please sign a petition.
Look, we've released more government data. Look, WikiLeaks!
We are faced, therefore, with some old questions for new times.
How are citizens to govern?
What kind of democracy do you want?
What's democracy?
What is civics?
I don't know, but I hope it's easier than algebra.
And we are also faced with some new questions for new times. For example, how do we measure citizenship and civic engagement? How do we develop consistent metrics and indicators that allow people to gauge their progress in strengthening engagement and democracy?
I am an active citizen.
Alright, let's go. Here we go. We got a height 45 centimeters. I got a head of 3 miles.
And
We got a,
hit a chin.
Yeah, left ear.
How will citizens get the information they need? How do you engage people across a large country in dialogue and action on a key public issue? How do we ensure that greater participation leads to greater equality? How can we update the laws on public participation so that they reflect the best practices in participation?
It says we have to have public participation on this policy decision.
We have to listen to that guy in the toga again?
Above all, we will have to decide what kind of democracy do we want? What kind of civic infrastructure do we want to build? What kinds of opportunities for engagement do we want to support and sustain?
My community will be resilient.
Is that all?
In my community, equitable processes lead to equitable decisions.
I'm listening.
In my community, people will engage online and face-to-face.
Huh?
In my community, young people have roles in public life that are powerful, educational, and fun.
Good!
These questions are worth tackling for all kinds of reasons, for the benefit of current generations and those to come.
I wonder if we'll ever figure out how to make democracy work.
I hope so, because I'm getting too big to be sitting on the counter.
Yeah.
Oh.